Hey everybody, on today's episode we have the one and only Michelle Meckling, my amazing wife, where we sit down, we talk about all things babies, all things parenting, and all things chit-chatting with each other. Hope you enjoy the show. Well, this is, for me, it's very exciting because I know that you don't love doing stuff like this. But what I love about this is that parenting, dad, mom, all of this stuff is influenced by a few factors. There's the person that we are as individuals, like just who we are as who we are. There's our experience of being raised by our parents. Mm-hmm. And then there's our relationship. And then there's actually the parenting. Mm-hmm. And we have been fortunate enough to have lots of people say to us very lovely, beautiful things like, your kids are so great, or I wish that we had kids like yours. And not that as they're expecting, like these beautiful compliments. Mm-hmm. So from that little mix of all of that, what do you think is like our special sauce or our secret recipe or the thing that we do? What are a couple of things that you think make us great parents?
Well, I completely agree with you about what parenting is and how you become to parent, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But what I think makes us great is our teamwork. It's how we work together. We don't know all the answers. We weren't parented perfectly. No one knows all of the answers. Yeah. No one was parented perfectly, but I think what makes great parents are people who want to do it together and who are a great team, and who are not afraid to say that they don't know the answers and work through it together.
Yeah.
I think that's what we do. I was just thinking about this, obviously, before coming on here, that a lot of our conversations about things that we want to talk about or address with our kids end in, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then we just work through it together, and knowing that we don't have to be perfect, but I think that we are willing to put the time in to work together to find a solution or to try something at least.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the main point.
True. I couldn't agree with you more, and I think a lot of it is having a Labrador before having children.
Yeah.
You know, if you raise a Labrador, then I think that you're pretty much set for raising babies. Because it's you use a word that maybe it's from your sports background, your competitive background, and I think it comes from me. I don't know where it necessarily comes from me, but we use the word team, like you used a lot. We use it. I'd say even more than we use the word family. There's a lot of like, let's go team, K-team, all the time. Mm-hmm. And I think it's a beautiful way to realize that there's a situation you're talking about a situation, not just individuals, not like, hey, you, or it's like, hey, us, we're always doing this together. We're in this whole family dynamic together where your mom and dad, you're our little kids, and we're going to be doing this together forever. And we're a team. We're all about it. Mm-hmm. And I think that really came from you and me and our ability to talk about what we want for the future. Mm-hmm. You know, we spend a lot of time talking about what it's going to be like to be parents. You know, I always talk about I came from a really loving, positive family, and I couldn't wait to do that. And I know, as you talked about I still think it's the most beautiful thing, your insecurities about being a mom and were you going to be a good mom, and you know, do I have the skills? Is it going to work out? And to see you now flourishing as an amazing mom. Mm. It's wonderful. Do you think that you're kind of meeting the expectations of the younger version of you from 10 years ago when we first started with the kids?
That's a good question. I think there's a lot of little pieces to that for sure. Some of it personal things that I am currently working through. I've never been good enough. However, yes, I feel like I am in that path of being what I want to be for my children and continually working on it. I think that's the biggest piece. I'll never be perfect at it. But I'm always working on being better.
Yeah.
So I would say yes.
I guess it's probably an unfair question to ask a mom, because all moms feel like they're not doing enough at any time. I think as dads, I don't know. I think it's hard to compete with moms. If you're trying to like do a competition as a dad, if that's how you're kind of entering parenting, is like, okay, well, I'm going to outparent my partner. I'm going to do more. I'm going to really show her that I've got this. Like, you should just stop and not do that, because there's no way that we can match the innate intensity of a mother's care and compassion and love of their baby. You know, I think of myself as a very loving dad and very involved dad. Like I think I'm a great dad, but there's something when I see you and how much you want the best for the kids that is just like, they're just different levels of intensity. And so do you feel that when you're mumming? Are you like, wow, I love these kids so much I just want to eat them? Or do you feel like it's just like part of like the work process of?
I would say that, again, it's about framing it properly. So yes, I would say that I do feel like all I want is the best for them. And I would do anything to make that happen. And how does that manifest itself? Well, yeah, sometimes your life becomes a little unbalanced and you don't give yourself as a mom time. And you give. And then there's the whole mom guilt thing of even just taking some time, and then your brain's always back, well, I should be with the kids or helping out or relieving Graham or whatever, right? Always. So, you can frame it in a lovely way of saying that I want the best for them always and do whatever I can to do that. And I think that's a good way of thinking about it. And then also realizing that the best for them always is not always me. And that's, I think, a beautiful thing. And I know our situation allows me to easily say that. You say it often. I don't care, or I don't worry one bit when I'm away about not just their safety, but if they're doing well, if they're having fun, if they're thriving, because I know they're with you. Yeah. And so it's the best for them, for them not to always have me. And that's been the way it's been from day one, is that with Weston, our first, he was with you from day one, right? Yeah. I was happy for him to be with you.
It's funny when you just said that, I immediately thought of like how I took care of the puppy. When we first got a puppy, the puppy would come to work with me because I would be at the restaurants, right? So the puppy was in the crate in our Westphalia van with me at the restaurants in the morning while I was like mopping the floors. And then it was Weston's turn. Weston was in the carrier on top of the bar while I was mopping the floors. I'd be like, "How you doing, buddy?" He'd just be sleeping. I finished mopping. We'd have
still
milk
in the car too.
Yeah, puppy's still in the car. It's I think it was a real gift that way. I think, I don't know how many dads get to have that experience where, I had my days were free, my nights were busy. So to be able to have the kids like that and to start sharing the responsibility of parenting from day one, I think was real special. I think that's probably been one of the biggest factors of our ships in the wind life has been that we've been able to be blessed with sharing the responsibility. It's never been like, I've had them too much or you've had them too much. It's always been great that way. Yeah.
And that comes back to the team factor where, you've always had them for half the time. Always.
Oh, man, I'm so lucky.
Yeah. And that's how it works so well. And I think that's why they're so great, is that they've got the influences of both of us. We have strengths in different areas, and then they benefit from that.
As I think about... Okay, well, sorry. I wanted to try and start every one of these podcasts the same way, and I skipped it because I love you very much. But can I talk about my baby story quite a bit? Because for me, it was a really impactful moment in my life. when I sent you in the bathroom to take that test, because I knew that you're pregnant. I was like, oh, I'm going to get the test. You're like, what? I'm like, I know you're pregnant. But
You
when
knew
you
before I
when,
did.
when you took that test, what was your? Just give me the story of like, hey, well, I'm actually pregnant. What did it feel like for you?
It was a shock because at the time we were okay if we got pregnant, but not necessarily really strongly
Stable.
trying.
Oh, trying. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. We were fun trying.
We were fun trying. We decided to be carefree and see what happened. And then when I came back from my trip away and was pregnant, we decided to maybe take a little bit more time before we started trying again. But we got pregnant. So it was a bit of a bit of a surprise. And I'm trying to transport myself back there right now.
I can tell you some of the things I remember.
Yeah, that would be great.
I remember just how it seemed odd to me that stick was determining such a future. Like, this is a piece of plastic with a couple of lines, but like, I don't know. I felt like there it should be a shinier object. Like, it should be like this beautiful thing that glows green, or, it's just like, it's a still stick.
Yeah.
But I remember, it's kind of like when we got engaged, like when I asked you to marry me. It's sort of like we went on that walk through Harlem. It was just like feeling like like nothing really made sense, nothing really mattered. It was just sort of like you and me. I wasn't paying attention to anyone walking around me. I wasn't paying attention to the birds or the music or the sunshine. I remember just looking at you. I couldn't stop looking at you, just like, oh my gosh, this is like a forever thing. This is my girl. I found, like, wow, this thing that I had always talked about and wanted. And I felt like the baby thing was the same way. Just a little moment in time where all of a sudden it was you, me, and this baby thing.
Yeah. I mean, of course, it was very present, very like, whoa, very, very much a moment together. Where was my brain? I'm having a hard time really recalling
10 years ago now. It's all right.
my moments. Because it was a surprise, I'm sure if we were trying and we got it,
True.
I would probably remember it.
It was pretty easy going.
Yeah, we have been very fortunate that way, and
Yeah.
I feel blessed to be able to say that it wasn't that hard for us to get pregnant. But yeah, in the moment it was, I think, just a bit of a whoa. He was right. And okay, now what?
Now what? Yeah, I know. Do you? Is there anything that you feel like you were innately great at as a mom? For all the mom guilt and all that stuff aside, is there something that you have you ever caught yourself in a moment and said, "Oh wow, I'm very good at this part of being a mom"?
I was more chill than I thought I would be.
Ooh.
More relaxed about
Sure.
certain things, like the baby being passed around and who looked after them and what they did with them when they had them in their care, and about crying and bedtime. And I felt for someone who identifies as a type A person, I was happily chill and
Now that you
relaxed
mention that,
about
that's a
a
very
lot of
good
those
one, yeah.
things. And maybe it's confidence of being in a team partnership with you that was really comforting. But I think that's
Yeah,
That's a piece.
I've always found that about you. That's a very, now that you mention it, that's really true. You seemed so at ease with it. I mean, I know that there was obviously, we had, like any couple or, new babies, different scenarios, this and that, but you always seemed so comfortable with it all. And I think and I think that really opened my eyes to like why I wanted to like be involved in fatherhood and trying to discover why I didn't really know anything about being a dad. Was because you just seemed so downright cool about it. You're just like, yeah, this is, okay, time to feed. You just had this like mom, not mom voice, but this mom energy that was just so calm about all the different parts of the baby experience. Like when we were making decisions, and that's why I joke about the puppy, because we always talk about when we made a decision with the puppy, we knew that the other person would be fully committed to that decision. Hey, this is how we're going to do this training thing. And we were like, check. And then we would both just do that. And it had such great results with the puppy that I loved being able to take your lead so confidently when you were like, okay, let's go have a tub with the baby, right? And, to watch you with the baby in your hands, I remember just being like, wow, that is what mums are about, that innate little spark of being so comfortable and so committed to the process, no worrying about, you just seem so great at it.
Well, thank you. And as you went through all of that, my brain automatically went to, it wasn't because I knew what I was doing. I think it's because I felt like I had so much, we both had so much support from each other. Like if I made a mistake, I knew we had to do things, but if I made a mistake, you were right there with me. Yeah. And so it felt easy.
Yeah, I guess we were kind of doing it at the same time together. That's a good point.
It felt easy that way. I didn't feel alone or pressure to be perfect by myself. And so I think that's a big part of why as you were talking, I'm like, maybe that's why I felt so chill.
I wish I had more credit from back then because I was so impressed. It was great. Do you think that there's parts from the baby life, the baby days that have translated or that have come through into like the 6 to 9 year old range where we're at now?
Oh yeah. I mean, all those fundamentals, everything that we worked so hard to be a team at. Yeah. Learning how to talk through situations and make decisions and research and
when not to research.
Like, what not to research. Yeah. Absolutely, that's come full circle or remained. Yeah. I think all of those foundational things. Anytime we feel like, okay, if we have to change plans, we have to change plans. We best laid plans when you have kids in tow. I don't know. I feel like I'm rehearsing your book a little bit, to be honest. But that's what it is.
I think that's really I think that's why if someone were to ask me what makes us good parents, I would just say that it's the commitment to be a good parent. Like you want to be committed to doing it because being a committed good parent means it's committing to a long time. Right? It's easy to commit to being a good parent for a little bit or through a phase. Like, oh, okay, this is the not eating fussy phase. I was great at that phase. But it's committing to all the phases can be tough. But I think you're right. We talk a lot about the fundamentals of like communicating, lots of extra thousands of hugs, saying things like team, support each other, all that stuff. But I think when it really shows in I think our kids and our relationship and how others view us by that, how long our commitment has been to the process. Or you see those parents that are, who love it because when you are building on that foundation, it gets more and more fun. It's more and more fun to be like, hey, let's talk about the situation we're going through. Like, all right. Instead of like, I don't want to talk about that or I'm busy or, it's always been really enjoyable. Yeah.
Yeah. And along that, I think consistency is a big thing that has come forward too, just to add something to the pot there of when, working through sleeping, working through all of that. Name of the game was consistency. If you changed route or you gave up, then it actually in the end made it harder. And so same thing now with a 6 and a 9-year-old. Consistency. It might be hard in the moment, but it makes it easier in the long run. So that was a big one too.
Do you like the challenge of parenting? Do you like, because some people are like, I know that you're like I said before, like your sports, you love studying, you love learning, you love doing things the right way. Do you think that you're just like, you're built for the challenges of parenting?
Yeah, I think so. I love the easy days. Don't get me wrong. Gosh, days can be really, really hard sometimes, and the easy days are lovely. But those challenging moments are the moments where you get to really show that, make the impact, I guess, and raise amazing people and give them what they need. And make good decisions and call from your past of what worked when you were young or what didn't work, and make those changes.
To look at the hardship as that's where the wins are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy days are great, but that's because of the hard work that you put in before. Yeah.
I love you.
Yeah.
I'm a smart cookie. Yeah, there's that's what I love too. I love putting in all the work for a fleeting one quick "I love you" from the boy, you know.
Yeah.
You know, like for all the work and for all the things.
Lasts for like a week.
Yeah, you just get like, "I love you, Dad." You're like, "Oh, that was worth the last 2 years of me grinding on this one thing." Or, it's the long-term benefits, and that's what I think can make parenting so hard. Is that there's a lot of long-term payoffs, but you got to wait a long time to get them. Sometimes you got to wait. I'm sure there'll be moments when. Sean just made a joke about calling his mom and saying, "Yeah, I know I'm 35 years late, but I'm really sorry about not wanting to wear that yellow blue jacket you bought me." Because his daughter was like, "I'm not wearing that." He's like, "Oh, Mom, sorry. I know it's late." And I think some of them, the payoffs are long. It makes it fun, though.
That's a good point. All of these things that you as a person look back, you're like, "Oh, that was so hard. Why did my parents, why?" Yeah. But then you see all the effort when you become a parent that your parents put in. And it's
the perspective's crazy.
It's good to recognize.
How is parenting? I've been using this in a reference to business a lot. Like the better you know yourself, the better you do at business. But what do you take away? How do you think that being a mom has changed you as a person?
Infinitely.
It's kind of like everything, but give me a couple.
I would say patience for other people, 100%. Understanding of how people process things, and patience for that. Not that my perspective is the right perspective, but just allowing, maybe patience is the wrong word, but just being, I guess, more curious for how other people think and other people learn, and why other people do other things the way they do them. Seeing our children go through and process things and think about things and make mistakes along the way and correct and discuss with us about what they were thinking opens my eyes to other people and how they move through the world and their thoughts. And so I think that's a big one for sure.
I think that's probably the biggest one I've got.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's funny that you nailed
agree.
it. Yeah, no, that's because you see how hard parenting is, of course, and how blissfully amazing it is as well, right? But what I really realized, just like what you said, that you see the impact of the choices that you make as like a mirror to your children, right? And usually the times when things are the hardest are because you can't get out of your own way. You haven't gone like, "Oh, well, wait a second, I'm just really tired. It's not the kids, it's me." I just really don't like going to the pool. You always want to go to the pool, like, "Oh, can you go somewhere else?" There's those. It's more us. And I think as we raise the kids, and I look at other people in the world, I'm like, well, man, how could you judge anyone when you don't know their circumstances, right? There's such a intense depth of character that comes from how you were raised, how your parents talk to you, if you had siblings or not. It's such we look at people in the now so much that you're right. I really think that's a big, beautiful gift that kids give you, is going, "Oh man, like, why are you being so mean? Well, oh my gosh, your dad did what? It's all kind of coming together, And I think it's a great perspective to have. That's a really good one. Do you, when you see where we're at now with kids, what's some of the things that excite you the most about moving on forward?
I think what it's always been, like, what kind of humans are they going to be is really the most exciting. And what are they going to love? What are they going to get into? What's going to light their fires? I think is the biggest one. And then as they grow, I can't wait to adventure with them. I think that's my second one. Yeah.
Do you have like a vision in your mind that you look at of you and them? Or
For
us?
some reason, it's always on we have so many beautiful beaches here.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it's always on a beach somewhere else.
Yeah. That's it.
Adventuring and exploring and being someplace new together and learning together, I think is what I have this little ethereal picture out there.
What are some of the things that you have felt over the years that you've been watching grow in you and in us? Is there something that you've been like, wow, this is becoming a deeper character thing that we're building? And maybe I'll answer the question I'm asking you because
Sounds about right.
yeah, well, no, because I was thinking about it, and it's one thing to say, like, as I write a book talking about being a dad and what some good things are. Like, are we really doing those things that I'm suggesting people do, or, because of all the fundamentals of building good foundations for relationships and parenting. I think there's some things that we just continually get better at, and there's slow growth accumulations of a lot of conversations. Like, our ability to communicate just gets better and better and better every month, every year, because we talk about kids, because we talk about where we want them to go, we talk about our relationships, we talk about perspectives a lot. That I've really enjoyed. Enjoyed's not the right word. I love, and I've said this to you a million times, I love parenting with you. It's a really wonderful thing to be able to do with someone that you love, and I can only imagine how hard it would be with someone that you didn't love. I guess it's my short way of saying that I love you and I'm so thankful for you. that we just continue to have more fun and become more mom and dad and wearing the same clothes. I'm sorry about no black pants, but it's an amazing experience.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of see what you're trying to say. Yeah, we've been through communication about our children and the teamwork that we've created and the team that we've created as a family. You and I have gotten stronger at communicating with each other about things between just you and I.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely that's a point. I don't know what your original question was.
That doesn't
now,
matter.
But
We'll have time to talk about it later. Did you? I find it funny, all the things that you said as a person before you have kids that you would make sure that you never did, that you all of a sudden let them do. Just like, the puppy will never sleep on the bed, and then a year later, puppy's on the bed. Is there some things that you found that you were like, Dad said that I would never do that as a mom, and then all of a sudden you're watching them do it? Like, say the word fart instead of toot?
Oh, yeah. I have loosened on the whole butt, bum, fart, toot situation. I don't know why, but...
Just fold in like a cheap tent.
I think the big main ones... I don't think I've forgiven the main ones. And those ones are just to show up for my kids all the time, to volunteer, to be at every game, to support all the events, I'll never not do those things.
Yeah.
So I think the big ones, always read to the kids, always, never, I don't think I've let loose those big ones.
Sure.
You're
rocked that way.
I can't quite think of the things that maybe the little things like, go clean your room, or I don't even know.
Sure.
Those little silly day-to-day things that I used to just get frustrated at my own mom about, and then I see myself about.
As this podcast is going to be, seen by a few people, and it will be like another little sort of like time capsule in time. I just wanted to tell you that there's nobody else I'd rather do this with. That I love you so much. That it's been a gift, like a blessing and a real. There's always things that you'd say, maybe with somebody else, or like the grass is greener, or different situations. But there's nothing that I would change in this whole baby, mom, dad, you, me thing. It's been an absolute, it's better than I even thought it was going to be. And I had pretty high expectations. So I just wanted to tell you that you're amazing. You're the best thing in the world, and our kids are so lucky to have you.
Oh, thank you. And I feel like the luckiest girl in the world to have a man like you in my life, and a father to my children. You're the best father I know.
Well, I love you to bits. You're the best.
I love you too.
I love you, sweet.
All right. Oh, kiss.
Bye, Stella.
All right.